enough talk about the playoffs. We're Reds fans. We're not used to it. We don't know what this is.
I don't know.
But that's all about to change, baby. Terry Francona, manager of the Reds, announced Thursday night as the Brewers exit the playoffs. The Reds throw their hat in the ring and they go, we're not waiting around this offseason. We're getting to work. Terry Francona, sign on that dotted line. I couldn't be more excited.
I couldn't be either. I thought it was a joke. I had to do a couple quick searches. But no, Tito's coming to town.
Yeah, dude. Tito's bringing a whole case with him, and that guy's ready to roll.
He's honking with his scooter. Y'all got room for another? I didn't bring my shoes.
Oh, check it out. You see, I got rid of the cup holder. Now it just holds cheese conies. Buddy. I would like to present Terry Francona an invite to the scooter gang. That's all I'm saying. You and me, scooter ganging from your place. I can give you some protection, a little bump on the road, make sure nothing happens to your buddy's scooter in Cincinnati. And all I take is payment and cheese conies. Real easy, guy. So I'm here for you. I'm here to protect. I'm here to block on my scoot with you.
I love it, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can't believe it happened. This was something we talked about as like a wish list of pie in the sky possibilities for the Reds. And of course, we're not going to get Terry Francona. We're scum. We're pigs. We don't deserve anything nice.
Yeah, we're just oinkers rolling around in the mud. And then Terry Francona's like, come here, boy, let's take you to the trough. We got to get you something to eat.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm so hyped. Like, how many times can you get a Hall of Fame manager after a year off to recover his health, to get off the couch and be like, yeah, you know what? I am going to come to Cincinnati.
That seems like the plot to like a Coen Brothers movie started. You know what? I need to get one more. I'm going to go with the gritty, blue-collar Cincinnati Reds. I don't care that their dicks are in the dirt right now.
I don't care. They're fast. They're young. They're athletic. That's what I want to deal with, baby. Wee wee. Oh, dude, it's going to be... So this just signals they're going to spend in the offseason because they went and they got a dude. They're saying, we got our guy, we've got a legend, we got a Hall of Famer. This is just the start for us to push to 2025 and really get heads to roll.
Yeah, for sure. There's no way that Terry Francona is going to be signing up to be in his position with the Reds if he isn't going to have some of, I guess, like his initial needs or wants kind of met there. There had to have been a discussion of what Terry's expecting, what the Reds management is expecting, and I can't imagine them getting there without spending money.
Yep, I can't either because there's some definite holes, and we'll get to those. But when Terry said that they came to his house in Tucson and they were talking about what they want to do in the present and what they want to do in the future, his palms got sweaty. That means not only did he miss the game, but they're like, we're going to do stuff.
Yeah, man, baseball is in his veins. I love hearing that. You want a lifer. You want a guy that's been there before. You want someone that's going to inspire, greatness in these young players and these formidable years for them. This is something that it just doesn't happen. In my lifetime as a Cincinnati sports fan, there's very few times when you're just like, is this happening?
Is this real?
And this is one of them.
Yep, this is the big one. Like, I remember when the Reds hired Dusty Baker, I was like, really? Mm-hmm. The guy who ruined Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood's career with this young pitching staff? Even at like 19, 20 years old, I was like, I'm not feeling this one. This one, I'm all the way in. Fully in. That's just the best way to describe it, is pure joy, leadership, accountability, veteran. I'm just thinking about everything that's going to happen this offseason, and I'm struggling to say words.
Yeah, dude. Proven winner.
Yep.
Been there numerous times, won 2 World Series, went there another time with Cleveland. And just the fact that I like he's going to be taking a lot of weight off the shoulders of these young players, because it does seem to just exist in this kind of like soupy ether of just like, are we going to have to step up and lead? Are we going to have a manager that's going to have to step up and lead? This isn't somebody that we necessarily trust. So I like that they don't have to worry about having to work necessarily outside of themselves, because there's going to be someone that's going to be there to tell you like, hey, I know where you're at and where you're going, and let me show you how to make it there.
Yep. Like the thing I really like what he said in the press conference today is, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of talking to start. I'm going to be doing a ton of listening. Really getting to know the guys. Like, when did you last hear that?
He wasn't giving stock answers.
No.
Like, he had a sincere, like, oh, I know the answer to that because I have years of experience of that. Not just being a manager, but growing up in a clubhouse and just being around, baseball players, just knowing how to communicate, knowing how to just, access the best out of athletes. And so that was a very nice press conference.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that he said that I really, 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 really liked is he said, I firmly believe that players enjoy being coached as long as there is a solid reason and you're ultra organized, and that will be me. My promise to the organization and to the fans is I will spend all my energy ensuring they spend ensuring they spend all their energy trying to play the game correctly and with respect. Which is, hey man, there wasn't accountability here. Let them run wild, and this is what happens.
Yeah, and I like that he already spoke to, I think, most of the players because they were asking him about, like, have you talked to Ellie? He's like, yeah, I had a conversation with Ellie, and he's talking about, like, the players he's already had a touch basis with. So he already has an agenda going in about what he wants to do. We want to just get to know the players, but two, just knowing enough about them already as athletes from watching them to know what he wants to do and approach. But the fact that he's just saying, yeah, I want to listen to them. I want to talk.
I want to talk, and then I want to hear them talk. I want to figure this out. And then they left that day, they left that press conference, and they sat down and they started working on a plan. Just getting everything in motion, either be it, he's like, I let the front office be the front office. I'm the manager. I'm going to do what I do. They're going to do what they do. Mm-hmm. There is that divide. And I think that's good to see where Terry knows he's like, my job is manager, taking and getting the best out of these guys I've got here.
Yeah, I like that he's able to kind of have this little bit of like yin and yang situation where he's talking about he loves to just, kick somebody's ass in the press interview. But he's also said, because he could have came out and said like, oh, I want to, I'm going to get all these players in line. We're going to do this, and that. But he's like, no, I need to talk to the players first. Yeah. So he's able to have like this sort of empathetic, understanding approach with how to communicate to a baseball player, as well as just knowing how to say, the hard things to get them to be at the, the level that he needs them to be at.
Yeah, he said, I've worked with a lot of great human beings. I think I could say I have the record for working with the most amount of great human beings. And it's like, man, that's cool.
Who says that?
Terry Francona says it.
Yeah.
God, he says it, and he lives it, and he means it. Mm-hmm. It felt like every word that came out of his mouth was like, I mean this, and we're going to do this. And the big quote from the day, people talk about having fun. What's enjoyable is playing the game right, and to be honest, trying to kick somebody's ass. That's what I consider enjoyable.
Look at that. Look at that perfect combo of a statement. They're having fun and kicking ass.
Kicking ass. Where we come from David Bell just being like, well, we just didn't have it today. And so we'll
we like where we're going. And of course, there's some things, we got. I'm a player's manager.
And I'm not going to yell.
Are you arguing balls and strikes? So we get out there. I got to get tossed. I got to get tossed. I'm scared in here. I need to go back in there. I need to get in the clubhouse.
I'm over this. I want to go home.
I'm supposed to make decisions out here.
And I don't want to. Frankie, make the move for me. So, yeah, it's just very nice just day one hearing this press conference going from going what we had with Bell to this. One thing that John Sadak asked in the press conference was a big one, which was who on the coaching staff's coming back. That's huge. And then he went, we're figuring that out today. I think that we know that Derek Johnson's coming back. I think we know he mentioned Colin Calico because he worked with him in Cleveland.
That's good.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he came back. I wouldn't be shocked if J.R. House came back. Mm-hmm. But I think he'll have a new bench coach and I think he'll have a new hitting coach. But there's going to be some turnover. I don't think there's going to be a ton. You don't want to rock the boat too much.
No, and I don't think he's going to disrupt a ton in the coaching, but I definitely think there's going to be some people not with the Reds next year that were here this year.
No, I totally agree. One thing that was the big thing with Terry Francona that we talked about was his health. Is he good? How's he feeling? And he said it's the first time in his life that he's focused on his health. Crazy. He said, he was like, I really worked on losing weight. I know I got more work to do, but working on myself really gave me more energy, which made me be able to come back and do this.
And I like that is out in the front, so it's just not something that he's hiding about his health. And he does seem to be looking good, feeling well, and so hopefully that continues. But yeah, that was the big thing that we were talking about too. Is like first and foremost, how is he going to be able to show up every day if his health isn't going to be there or not? But according to him, he's doing just fine.
Yeah, and he's extremely transparent about it. Which transparency has been lacking for the past couple years.
Especially with health in this organization.
Yeah, and one of the things I picked up on when he was like, I'm going to be the manager, and I'm going to handle that, and then, delegate to the right people, combined with letting the front office be the front office, which I think that signals I'm going to let the medical staff be the medical staff.
Oh, how about that? Pretty novel decision.
Oh, pretty wild, huh? Someone who values their health and probably values the health of the other human beings in the clubhouse instead of being like, you sure you can't pitch? You sure about that?
I read this thing that you can get your little shoulder, thing. You just put like some tape on there, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Call me Dr. Bell. Gosh. So, the thing was too, like when he mentioned Bochy, he was like, Boch needed a year off. Then he went back to the Rangers. He took him to the mountaintop. And then the next year he got unfortunate, got unlucky, and they just weren't as good. And he just started delegating even more responsibilities. That he's like, they did not need him to take them where they needed to go because they weren't very good, because they were hurt. And so that's good to know, where it's just like, if he's looking at that and seeing like, I know when to push on the gas, I also know when to push on the brakes. That's going to be huge in that clubhouse.
Yeah, him just knowing how to do the acceleration and deceleration within a clubhouse, and the fact that he has enough foresight and track record to know, looking at players, what the combination, like at chess moves, he's able to see like what are the next few moves, what is the overall arching game plan here, and the fact that he was able to look at the Reds and see like, oh, I like what I see here. The fact that he can see some potential, more than just potential, but like a winning combination with this group, the fact that they gave him 3 years to do it, I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm so pumped, with a 4th-year option too. So it's like, hey, you want to come back for a 4th? Because this is when the window's all the way open. Cardinals are going to be rebuilding. Cubs are kind of locked. I don't know what they can really do. They might go out and sign Pete Alonso, but that's not enough for them to take over what the Reds have. And the Brewers are just going to be the Brewers. So with that window all the way open, you can say, hey, this is the start of building something to be putting the Reds on a run to start winning division titles and getting to just at the minimum getting to the postseason. Because accountability, dude. Calling people out. And what was really refreshing to hear was not being like, well, our run differential and all of this stuff, and our expected wins losses. It was him being like, I'm working with people. I'm like, God, yeah.
I'm a people guy. I'm not a numbers guy.
He's a numbers guy, but he's starting off by saying, I'm a people guy. I work with great people, and I get the most out of people. I get the most out of people and my players. God damn, I'm Randall.
What a skip.
Ooh, buddy. Being organized. That's just, One thing that you texted me that I thought was very interesting, because when we look back at the 2024 season, a lot of us, we could say, oh, what a lost year. What disappointing. We didn't get what we wanted out of it. But you said something that really resonated.
Yeah, we're talking about, in this whole grand scheme of looking at the, the silver linings of things, and otherwise down year. If David Bell and the Reds did medium to exceeding expectations, potentially even say they got to the playoffs, what would that mean for Terry Francona coming to the Reds?
Wouldn't happen.
Absolutely not. If they just are middle of the road, I think David Bell would keep his job. If he didn't, rock the boat too much, potentially with the other, managers and people that pull the strings with the Reds, we wouldn't get Terry Francona.
Nope.
So I think this is probably the biggest silver lining of the year is the fact that they underperformed so much to the fact that they had to retool, and the timing couldn't have been better to land one of the best managers going into the Hall of Fame that the Reds landed with Terry Francona.
Yeah. Dude, that's why you fire your manager a week before the season. You're like, we think we found our guy. And if you think that you reeled him in, you do exactly what they did, which was take a little bit of a stink, be like, hey, he had to go. We didn't want to waste any time. We wanted to start our search. And you go and you get Terry Francona. Because Nick Krall said, we had a list. And then how wild, Marty Brenneman sends out a text to Terry like, hey, man, what do you think about coming to Cincinnati? And Terry's like, I'd be interested. And then they all hop on a plane and go to Tucson and they get this done.
Do you know when that text got sent? I'm curious about the timeline.
Sometime last week.
Okay. Because I had some speculations that maybe there was some back channeling going on, just trying to, like recruiters trying to get like a young high school athlete. They know, hey, this guy, he could be coming to the Big Ten here.
Yeah. But guess what? It's Marty, who's retired, and Terry, who was retired at the time. So it's just like there were no rules broken.
No.
And there is no rules about when you can meet with a retired manager to get him to come back. So yeah, that they did all the right things moving that forward. And one of the times where I'm like, holy shit, Marty, thank you.
Yeah, he really did an amazing solid.
Yeah, thanks, dude. You really looked out for us, and you got this. You got a guy that is revered by everyone in the sport. There's anyone out there who's like, man, Terry Francona sucks. No. Except for maybe some dum-dums in Beantown.
Yeah, some edgelord out there. Well, actually, if you look at really the numbers.
And so it's just if David Bell didn't let the players run amok, if they didn't have this season, we wouldn't have had this massive upgrade.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I would love to be looking up at the screen right now and seeing our Reds play. That would be, my heart would be full. But the fact is, we wouldn't have Terry Francona managing this Reds core in such a formidable time for their growth as baseball players, that this could have a much better effect for this it will have a much better effect for this organization having him in here. I mean, and also too, again, it's Cincinnati. We're not used to good things.
No, we're not.
We're so used to when we're getting our manager, we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna get the nice, like the commercial cut, the manager's special, the thing that's gonna go bad next year. But we had this nice piece of just aged Wagyu hanging out. That hey, you know what? Yeah, run my credit card. We'll get the Wagyu. It's like what?
Yeah.
We're going to get these Wagyu?
We're going to have A5? We're going to have Top Shelf Prime? No way.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm normally just eating burgers out of like plastic bags.
Nope.
We're actually getting something nice.
We get buns.
I know. Silverware?
Whoa.
Amazing. Utensils.
Wet naps.
Unreal. So this is a level of fine dining that we have yet to experience here in Cincinnati, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, same. I mean, dude, think about this. Like, they paid David Bell to go home for 2 years. We'll never know what he fully did. We have speculated. We're very good at it. But to be like, dude, bro, go home. We're going to pay you for 2 years, and we're going to bring in a Hall of Famer to take care of what you couldn't finish. I don't know, man. Like, that's gotta be a little bit of a sting for David.
I'm sure it's a sting, but I'm sure whatever millions he's made, it will be. It'll soften the blow.
Yeah.
So drink your nice Van Pappy or whatever.
Pappy Van Winkle.
Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure it stings, and I don't mean any disrespect to David Bell. He genuine nice guy, and I thought he did a lot of great things for the Reds, and it just wasn't working. They obviously were on different game plans, and so it just wasn't working.
No,
that'll happen,
and that's totally fine, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just don't work out, and it didn't work out, and they are tired of being under 500 and/or mediocre, and they think this is going to help push. This is going to help push them over the top, and then they go out and they spend this off season. Big part spend, and they will. Then you're looking at a potential division winner. You're looking at a bona fide playoff team.
We talked about the window is now. There is a very winnable division that we are in, and if we can just accelerate, press that gas a little bit, get a few more players. Tap, 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 tap. There's your Central right there. The Reds up top. You see the flags just growing, getting up a little notch by notch.